What is up, all my big bass lovers? It's DeMont coming back at you again. Sorry it's been a minute. I've been trying to get everything done at the house. I am just about done with almost everything. But anyway, it came to my attention that I have not done a review on probably what is the American quotations, the American most desirable BFS reel or acceptable BFS reel, and that is this guy, the Curado BFS XG. I have been using this reel for a couple years now. This is one I haven't unboxed yet. I've got 3 others. In the box, I want to keep it like this so you can see, but just kept slipping my mind to do it. You get your paperwork, you get your Shimano, and this is basically just talks about the interior of the reel. You get your reel breakdown and guideline, whatever you mean. Another book on the reel. This is your warranty card. I don't know, most of it's in Japanese or Chinese or whatever. I ordered these off of AliExpress because you get about $30 or $40 cheaper than buying them anywhere in the States. So this is your reel. Very nice looking reel. I love the color of them. And this has your original FTB. So when Shimano, this one here, seems like it's always tightened up. Now, one thing you don't get with the Curado BFS, you don't get a click and spool tension. Of course, your drag star clicks, but you do get a really big knob. This reel, I feel like it's a little bit over lubed. To open it up, you just flip that little switch, push down, and it pops right out. And then there's your spool. Okay, so maybe that's what's doing. That little piece of lint or something down there. No, it's just super over lubed. That's not lint, that's lube. Yeah, you can see it right there. It's way over lubed. I don't know what they did with this one, but good grief. This is what my wife likes me to do. Lube it up really good. Anyway, all right, so let's put her back together. Let's go over some specs. Just so you guys can see what's on the box here. 8:2-to-1 gear ratio, 8 pounds of drag. It weighs 6.2 ounces. If it'll focus right, dang. 7+1 bearings, so 8 bearings altogether. And it brings in 32 inches per handle turn. And there's how much the line it'll hold, the fluoro and your braid. Yep, that's pretty much all you can get on the box. Let's see. Yeah, just open it up and pulling a little bit of grease off. It's already a lot smoother. Wow. That's crazy just how much grease they put in that thing. Got a really nice thumb bar. And of course it's going to be a nice thumb bar for Shimano. Really good free spool. All right, so let's get into the particulars. Let's see how close they are on their stuff online. I really didn't think I needed to do this review because this is kind of like a review that most people have done, but a person asked me to do it, so here I am. 6.2, 6.2. All right. Now let's go over how much the spool weighs. Let's get out my little handy dandy scale here. Let it come up here. It's already on grams. That's pretty much the only thing I do with this. All right, wow. This is just so you can see the difference. This is the FTB, the original FTB. How it kind of sits inside the spool is different than some of the Chinese ones. They haven't got it exactly right, but you see how, let's see it moves. Just see it right now, it's on 1. And you see how deep it already sits inside the spool. That's a really good bearing they have in there. Anyway, all right, the spool and this thing they're a little bit heavier, but still a really good spool. Really good spool weight. And it's basically the control of the bearing and stuff in here makes it, it's kind of crazy how good this thing casts. 9.08. All right, and just so you can see on this, there's no bearing on here. It has a little, I don't know if if you call that that's just a little bushing holds it in place on the spool. But there's no bearing on the spool. So whatever the spool weighs, it's got a pin, but whatever the spool weighs is what you get. That's one thing I know. If you go to the Auto Bearing or some of the other higher end BFS reels, you get a bearing on the spool. But to be honest with you guys, this little booger here, it casts really good. Just opening up those few times and cleaning off the spool. If I probably take the spool tension knob all the way off, it's probably gonna be caked with grease on the end. Let's take a peek real fast. Oh yeah, you can see it. Dang it. Oh, they make this thing so tight. There it goes. Yeah, look at that. Look at all that grease. It is coated with grease. Coated. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it smear down there. There you go. You can see it smear. And then the whole end here is just full of grease. But I have started using this. I've been using my BFS reels for all different kinds of things. Anything. If I can get away throwing a light like jerk bait, I do like how Shimano has the O-ring. I forgot to tell you about that. Shimano has an O-ring on here. Helps seal the reel up a lot better. Daiwa does the same thing. A lot of the Chinese, or some Chinese reels actually give you that as well, but most of them do not. And I just pushed mine out. That's great. All right, back to, dang it. I keep messing it up now. That's a bad thing. You take this off. You gotta get that lined up perfectly. Everything's gotta go back on perfect with these Shimanos. They don't like it if you do anything different. All right, here we go. Make sure the O-ring is perfectly back in place. All right. There we go. Now it's going wrong, right? No more smushing the O-ring out. Okay, so anyway, when I use BFS reels for any kind of small treble hook bait. Anything, small jerk baits, small crankbaits, small square bills, small top waters. 1/4 ounce and under is my guidelines for using my BFS reels with it. Trust me, guys, when you start going to lighter gear and lightweight spools and things of that nature, all your little top waters and things of that nature are just gonna work so much better. It's not gonna fatigue you. They're gonna cast better. And they're starting to make, especially if you go on AliExpress, they're starting to make all different kinds of gear ratios in BFS reels. Like you can get gear ratios 5:2 to 1. You get them 6:3, 6:4 to 1, 7:2, 7:3 to 1, 7 to 1, 8:2 to 1. Like this one, there's a couple of 8:6 to 1. I mean, there are so many different ratios. And you don't need 16 pounds of drag to throw a small jerk bait or a small crankbait or anything small for that nature. You don't need it on Ned rigs. Like I use BFS gear for throwing my Ned rigs. Start using, if I'm using a smaller shaky head, usually it's 3/16 and under, I'm throwing a BFS reel. That's just how I like to do things. There's one thing I found that's kind of different for how Shimano did this reel. They did not do it with the conical. I don't know why. Almost all their other reels have the conical except for the Curado BFS. It's kind of crazy, but it is. What's also kind of funny is that their competitors, like the Chinese knockoffs, they put the conical in that, let me grab one real fast. Let me show you. Here we go. I got one right over here. You can grab it. Sorry about that, guys. Take me just one moment. Let's see. I'll grab two kind of FTB knockoffs. I will grab this one and come out of this one. All right. Whereas you guys remember from previous videos, I mean, just go and get this clear real fast. This is a great reel, but for cheaper money, you can have the Bear King Zeus. It has a conical tapered. It's a lot lighter reel. And to be honest with you, it casts every bit as good, or not, it casts better than this reel. This reel works better if you're throwing 10-pound line, like for jerk baits. If you're throwing 10 pound, you probably want to go to the Curado. But also, just to get the other one out, gotta get this one out. I've got several of these. This is one of my favorite BFS reels, and that is the Cast King Valiant Eagle 2. Now, a lot of people say this is overbraked. Some people say this is overbraked, the Curado. The Bear King is actually, some people say is overbraked as well. I'm glad the Bear King decided to go with the FTB, upgrade the FTB, instead of trying to make that weird Magtrax knockoff mess. I mean, it works, but it's not as good. It's nowhere near as good. And the Bear King, they try to make it just like, I mean, it's made to standards of a high-end reel. And so, I mean, if you want to know the truth of the pudding, I kind of think the Bear King is actually made probably better than the Valiant Eagle. But this Valiant Eagle, I will put it up against almost any BFS reel in the market. But that's just my 2 cents, guys. You let me know what you think. If you have any questions, ask them down below. I always get back to everybody. Subscribe to the channel. I look forward to helping you guys out any way I can. Sorry it's been a minute, but you know how things go when you get a new house and you're trying to get things moved in. You got, this is my very first time ever getting my own home theater room where my own, like everything's mine. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna sign off. Till next time, this has been DeMont. Tight lines, guys.